Hello and welcome to ChapterSkip. I'm Mark.
And I'm Joe.
And I'm Sean.
And we're bringing you movie reviews with a twist.
And today we're looking at Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim is the brainchild of the awesome writer and director Guillermo Del Toro.
It was also co-written by Travis Beacham, who unfortunately was also responsible for writing the screenplay to the awful 2010 version of Clash of the Titans.
Now, if you don't know, and I'm wondering how you don't, Pacific Rim features giant robots and huge beastly monsters who go to war across the world. The monsters are called kaiju and come from a portal beneath the Pacific Ocean, and these bad boys are large, angry and destructive buggers.
Now, to fight the kaiju, the human race has had to figure out a way to match the monster menace. So, we've built massive robots that are piloted by a pair of humans.
For a while, mankind starts to win the fight against the kaiju, but as the years pass by, the creatures start to get bigger and meaner. And of course, the frequency in which they appear also increases. So humanity attempts to build a giant wall around the coastlines in hopes of holding back the kaiju, and the last remaining Jaeger pilots are tasked with a new mission whereby they must go to the undersea portal and drop a bloody great nuclear bomb down it.
Alright, Sean, would that make that a Jaeger bomb?
Anyhow, before the pilots can drop the nuke, there's some training to be done. And what better way to find out if people are compatible than getting them to hit each other with sticks?
Round one. Fight! Mark wins. Round two. Fight! Mark wins. I win!
The unique thing about the Jaegers, other than the fact they're giant robots designed to beat the crap out of giant monsters, is the fact that they require a tag team effort to operate them, which comes via neural link. Although plugging into the link will mean that both pilots get to share each other's memories.
So let's hope they have no skeletons in the closet or any memories they'd quite late to forget.
What should we do with Mark's body whilst he's unconscious?
Well, I made this neuroanalyzer last week. We could always put it on his head and test his thoughts.
Is it safe?
Well, I tried it on my dog last week.
How was it?
Rough. Right, put yours on, flick that switch, and we're good to go.
Nana, happy 7th birthday, Mark. Happy birthday. I got you a present of a cuddly bear and a movie. Here you go. A toy and a DVD. Thank you, Nana. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Expect something wonderful to happen here. I have a feeling fun is near. Care Bears, we want to care and share.
Nana! Nana! What is this? This is so stupid. The no plot, it sounds terrible. Effects are rubbish. Nana! This movie's terrible. This movie is so bad. I'm gonna be bored forever.
That's why he's so bald.
And grumpy.
It all makes sense now.
The main characters of the movie, besides the Jaegers and kaiju, were Gypsy Danger pilot Raleigh Beckett, played by Charlie Hunnam, who you could say was the hero of the film.
Yeah, but he wasn't the only one in this role, as you could probably also count Commanding Officer Stacker Pentecost, who is played by Idris Elba, who, in my opinion, was perfect for this role. Now, I only say this because apparently Tom Cruise was originally thought out for this role, and as decent an actor Cruise is, He would have been nowhere near as good as what Idris Elba was in this film.
Other main cast members include Rinko Kikuchi, who plays Mako,
And Charlie Day and Bern Gorman, who provide comic relief as the two scientists.
and of course Del Toro regular Ron Perlman is thrown in there for good measure, as he plays Hannibal Chow, a black market kaiju organ dealer.
Before watching this film, I have to say that I was quite nervous because of a few things. Firstly, I had that sinking feeling that Guillermo Del Toro was going to forget all about a decent plot and character story and development and just go all Michael Bay all over the place, which I'm happy that he didn't. The main characters, for the most part, were fleshed out and had some purpose to be in the film. The other reservation that I did have with the movie was featuring extremely heavy CGI elements, and I had a fear that it would somehow make the movie less real. Now, obviously that sounds very stupid because both kaiju and Jaegers are not in the slightest bit real, but thankfully within the context of the movie they felt real, or at least part of that world. So I have to apologise to Del Toro for doubting you. Sorry, G. Can I call you G? Okay, sorry. Mr. Del Toro.
However, I knew this movie was going to be freaking awesome, and I can confirm that it is in fact freaking awesome. I mean, from the opening kaiju attack sequence, I was sitting there just in a strange state of awe as I watched the events on screen. And this was from a scene that I'd already seen a dozen times in the trailer.
I totally agree, and in a word, this movie is simply a spectacle, and everything about it felt massive, which is a great achievement. It also felt quite balanced too, whereas some of blockbusters like Man of Steel and Iron Man 3 never really balanced things that well. The film managed to do that, which made a 132-minute movie seem much less. And don't get me wrong, it's still a long movie.
Yeah, but for the casual viewer, there's enough in there to keep you entertained.
The movie made me feel like I was a little kid and I was watching a monster movie for the very first time. The action sequences were absolutely stunning. Not just because it was a giant monster versus giant robot thing either, but also because it looked so bloody awesome. And for anyone that's a fan of monster movies such as Godzilla and anime shows such as Neon Genesis Evangelion, this film is just an absolute pleasure to watch, and it's clearly been influenced by all these things too. Fortunately, it's ignored certain aspects of its anime influences, and we actually get grown-ups piloting the Jaegers, and not a bunch of angsty teenagers that are constantly whining or self-abusing. Right, Shinji?
Well, maybe except for Chuck Hansen, who was played by former EastEnders actor Robert Kaczynski, as his character was a total douche throughout the film. Now, there were scenes in the movie that weren't really a surprise for me, but for some reason, I didn't mind at all. So even though I was sitting there thinking, oh, I bet this is going to happen, and then it did, it felt more like it was meeting my expectations rather than just being predictable.
Overall, there are some really nice touches in there, be they cosmetic ones, such as how everything has this nice worn and weathered look that makes it feel used and helps the world to feel believable, to the little additions that were purely there as a whim.
Yes, such as the scene with the Newton's cradle, or Hannibal Chow's amazing and awesome shoes.
However incredible this movie was, there were a few things that I wish that it investigated a little bit more, and that was the whole underground, seedy black market operation that Ron Perlman's character Hannibal Chow had going on.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, I would have liked to have seen him go out and kick some ass in a Jaeger that perhaps he'd been custom building himself over the years.
And I would have liked a more in-depth look at the Chinese and Russian Jaeger pilots too.
Now, personally, thinking about it, I'd like to have seen more of Idris Elba as well, because I thought he was fantastic. In fact, there's a lot of things I would have liked to have seen in the movie, but I think that's mainly because I was having such a bloody good time watching it. And even though it does come in at just over 2 hours long, I could quite happily have sat there and watched it for another 2 hours because I was just so entertained throughout the whole thing.
Boy, would I have liked to have been a fly on the wall at the creative meetings that Del Toro and Beecham had whilst writing this film. Just imagine the fun they had coming up with the concept and ideas for this film. The only thing I can think of that's more fun than that would involve a Big Mac, several busty ladies and a bouncy castle. Actually, scrap the Big Mac. If there wasn't a bar set for visually stunning, gripping and action-packed summer blockbusters, then there certainly is now. I'm just concerned for all the films that have to follow this, so good luck, Logan. You're gonna need it, buddy. And if you didn't get it from what I just said, let me sum it up. This film is freaking sweet, so go watch it. Actually, watch it twice.
This film was like Godzilla, Power Rangers and Transformers on steroids. And the film did not let up from the moment it started. It had a great plot with amazing acting and the awesome CGI sequences too. Every hit, explosion and kaiju kill was out of this world. Mr. Del Toro, we salute you.
The film is probably the best big budget summer movie ever. You can see where every dollar has been spent and the whole thing looks and sounds fantastic. It reminded me of so many things that I'm a fan of, be it monster movies like Godzilla and Gamera, or anime shows like Evangelion or Attack on Titan. Fortunately though, you don't have to be a nerdy fanboy like me to enjoy this movie, so don't let my geeky enthusiasm put you off. Sure, it's not perfect, and it has its faults, but on entertainment value alone, it succeeds on every level, and I recommend that you go and watch this movie as soon as you can.
Thanks for watching this Pacific Rim movie review. Now we would love for you guys to comment below and tell us what you thought of Pacific Rim. Did you like it as much as we did? Leave a comment and let's start a discussion. If you enjoy our reviews, then please show support by subscribing to our channel. You can also like us on Facebook or follow on Twitter. All the links are down below in the description box. Thanks.
Now, for a while, mankind starts to... Mankind is the fact that they require a tag team effort to opposite them.
So let's hope they have no skeletons in the closet or memories they'd like to forget.
Or memories!
Probably also count Commanding Officer Stinster.
Him too.
Get all about a decent plot and character story.
And Charlie Day and Bern Gorman provide some comic relief, as of their discipline, of course.
They did.
And Charlie Day and Bern Gorman, who give comic relief, as the two scientists.
That too.
Scientists. They're scientists of the scientists.